Hey there, everybody. This is Tirza Ekholm from the Tirza Factor, and I don't know, the network connection's been kind of spotty here today, so I hope this works well. So I know we're supposed to use like a quiet, calm background, but you know what? I'm an artist, so I'm going to take liberties, and I have my art behind me. So what can I say? Anyway, I was just thinking this morning about my first father-in-law. My first marriage. Well, my first marriage, I got married when I was 17, and I married a professor of mathematics at UCCS who was actually from the Soviet Union, and his parents came to live with us at about the time that we decided to get married. So it was an amazing adventure. But one of the things that was really special about my father-in-law, his name was Yuri, he was a lifelong artist, and that was my first exposure personally to an artist who had made that his profession. He had decided from a very early age that that's what he wanted to do, and being born and raised in a Ukrainian village didn't really lend itself well to that pre-World War II and everything. But anyway, I loved his work, especially the work that he had done after he came to the U.S. And it was just, he and his wife Frida, my mother-in-law, were such kind, generous souls that they had quite the impact on me. And even after I got divorced, Yuri would come spend summers with me and the kids, and that was always such a treat. So I often walk around the halls of Cottonwood Center for the Arts when I'm walking around looking at some of the artwork that some of the artists here do, and I admire the collaboration and communication that goes on here. But I often think of Yuri, and I think this was a place he would have loved to have been. Anyway, he was a major influence on me. I wish that we had been able to find a way to market and sell his art, but honestly, my first husband and I, we didn't know anything at all about selling paintings or marketing art or anything like that. We sort of made this trip to Las Vegas once because we thought we might show. We packed a bunch of Yuri's paintings into the back of a car and drove to Las Vegas thinking we were going to show them at galleries, and I think we did show them to a couple, but we didn't understand anything about commissions and fees, and we had no clue about business or what it might entail. I mean, my first husband was and is a mathematician and an academic, and of course I was completely ignorant of the whole thing. So I don't know why I'm sharing all of that kind of as a background to you, and I promise to try this into why clothing, because then my second influence I'll come to in just a second. I grew up probably leaning towards academia myself. When I grew up, I became an engineer, but I also grew up with a strong desire to be invisible, and so that's kind of the way I dressed, to be invisible. And even though, yes, I was encouraged to wear brighter colors because of my coloring and that kind of thing growing up in southern Florida, I wanted to be like my mom and wear pastels and just, blend into the scenery. And I think I probably did a really good job. And when I became an engineer, well, t-shirts and jeans, that's just what you wear. I mean, who cares? But then, of course, as I began to enter the world of business, I realized, and even as I got promoted up in my corporate life, I began to realize I was going to have to learn to dress better, and I learned to put on makeup and that kind of thing. But I was still pretty ignorant when it came to these sorts of things. So again, fast forward to eWomen, much later, to when I'm in a networking group called eWomen Network, and I met a lovely businesswoman, an image consultant here in Colorado Springs named Karen August, and I actually hired her to take me through my closet and take me on a shopping trip. I've been shopping before, but honestly, I hate clothes shopping, so I was delighted to have her go with me. Actually, it was kind of a thrill. But one of the things that she got me to eliminate a bunch of things in my closet that were just, they still fit, but just because they fit didn't mean that they were anywhere near being current. And they were probably things out of high school or whatever. I came from a small mountain town because I came out here to Colorado, and again, jeans, boots, cowboy shirts, it was fine. Um, but she encouraged me to get rid of them. And then she took me on a shopping trip, and I learned a lot. It wasn't a very long. Hello, Karen. Yes, I'm sharing my bit of my journey with you as part of why I do what I do now. Thank you so much, because she gave me a lot of confidence. The first few outfits that we picked out, yes, they fit and they looked wonderful, but I was like, oh, I'm not even sure I can wear those. But I did, and I enjoyed them. And honestly, that whole thing was the boost of confidence I needed to move forward, and I branched out into trying more and more things in my wardrobe, and especially color. I just fell in love with color and was able to add color into as you can see now from some of the things that I sell and put together. I'm in love with with color and outfits, and so much later when I decided to become an artist, and then also to try to put some of my designs onto clothing, both Karen and Yuri were my major sources of inspiration. I mean, if you had told me, even when I graduated from college and high school, that I was ever going to be an artist or have anything at all to do with fashion, I would have totally laughed because that was just the most ridiculous thing ever. And yet, now here I am having the time of my life doing it and having the joy of creating products that people love to wear and love to buy and love to share with their friends. And so, hello, Dana. Good to see you. Good to see you as well, Mark. And thank you, Karen. It's such a joy to be able to share what I do. Hello, Michelle. To share what I do with people I love. And I just wanted to jump on and share that with you. If you'd like to know more about my story or whatever, just private message me. I'd be glad to share them with you. I'd like to I'd be glad to share some personal recommendations of people, of course, I met in my life who've greatly influenced me. And if you need an image consultant ever, and even if you just want someone to help you go through what you already have, I highly recommend Karen August. And anyway, I'll look for more connections here on Facebook and Facebook Live. And thanks for watching. Thanks.